give you a very simple example. A couple weeks ago, I was flying out of Las Vegas. I get to the airport at like 6 in the morning. It was like me and The Walking Dead. I think I was the only one that went to bed the night before. I was flying on Delta, and I usually get upgraded, but I hadn't yet, so I went up to the gate agent to ask him about it. He was this young kid, and as we're talking, he's yawning and just struggling to even stay awake in our conversation. Somewhere in the conversation, he goes, "Oh, I just need like a Monster drink to get me going, something." Well, we talk about the upgrade list, and he said, "You're gonna have to wait and kind of see." And I'm walking around, I'm in this store, and I look over in a cooler, and there's a Monster drink. So I bought him one. I don't know what a Monster drink costs, it was the airport, so it was like $300. And I go and I take him a Monster drink. Guess who got upgraded? Now, I mean, that's not why I did it. Well, maybe, but it's just a simple thing, right? I'll tell you the coolest story about investing in people that I've ever heard. I was speaking for Delta Airlines, and they flew me to Atlanta, and they brought in all their managers from all the airports around the world, and I give a speech similar to this speech. We talked about the idea of investing in people. Afterwards, we're at the back of this ballroom. There's about 2,000 people in this ballroom. We're at the back of this ballroom, I'm signing books, and this guy comes up to me and he goes, "Can I share an experience I had investing in one of my people?" And I said, "Sure." He said, "I'm a below wing manager." And I said, "What does that mean?" He said, "My team's in charge of everything below the wing. So baggage, food, anything that comes in below the wing, that's our job." I said, "Okay, great." He said, "I get to work every day at about 5 in the morning, and my first shift, I go out and I throw bags with my guys." I already like this guy. And he goes, "I just want to make sure we're all on the same page, and then I have to go to my office. I've got other responsibilities." And he said, "There's a guy on my team whose name is Tony, and Tony is way too chipper at 5 in the morning, like annoyingly so. He's like, 'Come on, guys,' and we're like, 'Shut up, Tony.' Like, he's just one of those guys that it's just like too much sometimes, right? But I'm out there one day, and Tony is off, like something's not right. And I look over and I'm like, "Tony, are you okay?" And he goes, "Don't worry about it." And so I asked him maybe one more time, like, "Tony, what's going on?" He said, I said, "Don't worry about it, I'll be fine." So this manager said he went back to his office and he's like, "I couldn't get Tony out of my mind, and obviously something was wrong." So I called him in my office right before lunch and I said, "Tony, are you okay?" And he said, "I told you, don't worry about it." And he said, "Tony, I am worried about it. I'm your friend. You don't have to talk to me, but if you want to, I'm willing to listen." And so Tony sat down and he told this manager that the night before, he and his wife found out they can't have kids. And he explained the whole situation, all the tests and the ups and downs, just the entire process. And this manager sat and he listened to his friend and he empathized with them. And at one point in the conversation, this manager goes, "Tony, I just want to do something for you." And Tony goes, "That's the problem. You can't do anything about this. You can't fix it." And he got up and he left. And this manager looked at me, he's like, "Ty, I had to do something." And the only thing he could think of was during lunch, he put together a packet of information on Lutheran adoption services. It's the only thing that came to mind for me. And so after lunch, he went up to Tony, handed him a packet of information. He said, "Look, I'm not trying to push an agenda. I just wanted to show you that I care. I wanted to do something, and so I put this together for you." Tony took the packet of information. They never talked about it. This manager said that about a month later, Tony went back to his annoying self at 5 in the morning. And about a year later, this manager was sitting in his office doing some paperwork, and Tony walked in. And he walked up and he put a picture of a little boy on his desk and he said, "I want you to be this boy's godfather." And I'm at the back of this ballroom and I'm crying and this guy's crying. And this guy looked at me and he said, "Ty, when you invest in people, they become family." Now, I don't know if that's always true, because that kid in the Vegas airport with the Monster drink, I don't consider him family. But I do know that it changes the nature of relationships, and if we want to be more influential as leaders, if we want to partner with our people, we need to invest in them.